Hello everyone, welcome to the Watch Poplars. Today, I am going to show you updates on the plants in the greenhouse. They have grown a lot, and some have grown almost a foot since I last shown you what they looked like. So let's get in the greenhouse. So, if I open up, try not to disturb the spider eating the insect over there. Everything is growing, like, really quickly, and it might start getting out of control sometime in, like, over the summer, but for now, it's fine. I'm just letting them grow. So, everything is doing really, really well, and I did not expect them to do that well. But what I'm most surprised about is that there's a slight chance of rain coming because there's this storm that is probably in the mid-altitudes. It's not low to the ground, it's very high. So it's probably just a thick, large, altocumulus cloud that has developed into a storm. Yeah, we had a very humid morning. The humidity spiked up, and I could feel it. We don't usually get humid days in the summer. It's usually pretty dry here, but all this humidity is causing these clouds to develop. And they're really pretty. Anyway, in the greenhouse, I'm gonna try to open this up without having to put down my phone, which might make it harder. So, all the tropical trees that I have are doing really well. They're growing. They've recovered from repotting. The trees I got from Florida are sprouting and they're growing. Hopefully they get really tall in this big pot. That poisonous plant, I've never mentioned this poisonous plant, but if you get the sap on your fingers or skin, it will cause blisters. If you ingest it, it will cause, what was it? I think it said cardiac arrest. So, I mean, this tree or this plant has, I think it's opposite leaves arrangement, and it readily produces branches, as you can see. It has a red. The main vein of the leaf is reddish towards the center, and they're in a genus of plants that does not form trees. So I think I ended up collecting a annual or perennial plant, thinking that it was a tree. And I don't remember collecting this kind of plant before by seed, which all of the trees growing in here are from seed. Then there's this mystery plant here that I guess these black berries on it, or seeds, and they come in these like gooseberry-like cases, where the seeds just kind of form and fall out in the fall, and they get okay fall colors. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, here is a plant I collected from my school. It was growing in a garden bed where no one wanted it, so I collected it, and it's growing. There weren't many roots on it after I collected it, so that I'm so glad it's recovering. It's actually growing quite well. You can see here. And yeah, this red oak has recovered. And the dogwood just keeps growing. This is a dogwood that I collected from the creek. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. And the willow that I'm styling like the ones in the Arctic is down here. And it's growing out from under the rocks. So I don't need to put any more rocks over this shoot because I'm gonna cut this back all the way down to here. So I don't need to cut it. I don't need to prune it. I don't need to put more rocks on it, so it's doing well. And then here's a privet. I don't know where I got this one, but I pulled it out of the ground. It was a seedling, and it's growing really well. I have multiple kinds of willows growing in this drainage hole-less pot of water. It's like a pot with no drainage holes, so it's more like a bowl. And these were the ones growing in the kitchen display last year, but last year I didn't have a YouTube channel, so I didn't show you that. So they're growing really, really quickly. My other willow is right here, and it's growing so fast, and I thought I would be able to keep this smaller leaf, shoot, alive, well, healthy, but it's just taking over. But that's okay. This branch will survive if I just prune this back over the winter. This is also an elm that I collected from the school. It's very spindly. And all of the other 3 or 4 died, except this one. So that's exciting. The whole famed poplar it might be close to being done growing. I'm not sure. I can't really tell, but for now it's growing. And there's the sequoia and the dawn redwood and the other conifers in here that I got for Christmas. They're doing very well, and I'll let them grow unrestricted. These red oaks, that branch, because I pruned the tip bud off of this, it encouraged a branch to grow. And I haven't really gotten really long extensions on these trees, so they might, they're not very vigorous, that's for sure, but at least they're alive. This one also recovered from repotting. It sat there for a while. The leaves did not turn it back into these dark colored blue ones, so that was worrisome until it started growing again. And yeah, hopefully this is not all it does over the summer. And the plum tree that I'm planning on, the one that I'm gonna try to get as many branches as I can a year, is growing and ready for a prune, so that will be coming up soon. These 2 wisterias, I had originally put a bunch of poplars in here, like roots from a poplars, thinking that the roots were thick enough to be propagated into trees, but they all died. Yeah, the euphorbia is doing well. It's getting hard to water as well, so yeah. The tundra in here, I can get in here, is doing well. Spring is at its peak in the tundra, The sun is shining, the snow is melting, and everything's starting to green up. And the Monterey pines are growing. They're doing okay. They're hanging in there. This false Hinoki cypress, I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure exactly, but it's doing really well. Yeah, the winter colors on this are really pretty. They're like bronze. The English ivy has not grown. This is all it's grown since like it started growing in February. So that's, I mean, at least it's alive. The gray pines, the ones I got from seeds in a pine cone from either Mount Diablo or the foothills of the Sierra Nevada, are beginning to grow. This one's doing really, really well. They're still just above the height they grew to last year. So they're still recovering from the repotting. And the snapdragon is not getting any diseases, even though it's really close to those ones. Those died of a fungal disease of some sort. And the grasses and the stuff growing in here are doing really well. The buckeye, I think, has stopped growing. It might have not recovered from the repotting, but it might take a while for it to do so. I probably collected it too late, which is probably the one reason why it's not doing so well. This black oak, I'm not sure if it's still alive or not, but it's just sitting there. There's a bud, and it looks healthy, it's just not growing. And this plum tree here, it's growing in very horrible soil, and I can't do anything about it right now because it's out of season for repotting. So, but it's recovered. It's just slowly growing. It produced a very short, weak flush of growth right here, and then over the week I was gone at a scout camp, which I forgot to mention earlier in the video. Now it is recovering. Yeah, everything. There's a nightshade plant growing in my pistache forest. Yeah. I don't want to make this video too long, but everything is doing really, really well, and I'll give you more updates in the future. So that is all for today. This is the Watch Poppers. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.